What's your view? What's your view? What's your view? What's your view podcast?
Welcome to the What's Your View podcast with Olu Dolapo. This podcast was created as a space for real people with real life experiences that most people can relate to and learn from. Have a great time listening.
Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. In this episode, I'll be talking about the major lessons I learned in 2021. It's the kind of episode that details my growth journey in 2021, kind of. And the good thing about this episode is that some of my friends would also be sharing some lessons they learned in 2021. So before I go ahead, I want to say thank you to everyone for being a major part of this episode. This year, it's really been an amazing journey so far, and I'm grateful for everyone. The major lessons I learned in 2021 are: practice gratitude, focus your energy on what matters to you, comparison will steal your joy, to thine own soul be true, the power of accountability, and be kind intentionally to yourself and to others. These are the major lessons I learned in 2021. Let me just take it again. Practice gratitude, focus your energy on what matters to you, comparison will steal your joy, to thine own self be true, the power of accountability, and be intentionally kind to yourself and to others. So in regards to practicing gratitude, right? I mean, it's really straightforward. Just never take anything for granted. That was how I learned the lesson. So I just decided I wasn't gonna take any face for granted. Any of the lessons that life or God was throwing at me, I wasn't gonna take anything for granted. I'll be grateful for every single face, every single step. And I mean, no matter what, I just decided I will be so grateful for each person I met, each opportunity that came my way or that comes my way. I was going to be grateful for it, and that was it for me. Never just take anything for granted no matter what, and start having more appreciation for the little things in life. And I think tons of studies have shown how it increases happiness, mood, and it helps shift our focus towards the good things in life. I mean, this is super important to also realize, because there's most likely someone else that is going through or has gone through what you're currently experiencing. And if you can just internalize that all you can do is make the best of it, I think that's really powerful to have. So practicing gratitude is a major lesson I learned this year. And the other thing I learned is to focus my energy on what matters to me in regards to my finance, relationship, health, well-being generally, right? My job and all. And this was our learned lesson. I realized I cannot be everywhere. I cannot be with everyone. I cannot do everything, right? And I decided, okay, so I have to channel my energy. I have to channel my strength to whom and what I know is right for me at the moment, or at each phase of my life, right? And I decided, okay, physically, this is what I'm going to channel my energy to. Mentally, this is what I'm going to channel my energy into. Financially, this is what I'm going to channel my energy into. Our relationship-wise, this is what I'm going to channel my energy to. And it really helped me not to experience burnout. I mean, in any of these aspects, even though they were they're like triggers, right? But I mean, focusing my energy on what it is for me helped me not to experience burnout. And I think it's something I will keep doing. Yeah, focusing my energy on the right thing. Another huge lesson I learned in 2021 is that comparison will steal your joy. Oh my God. Bro, when you compare yourself to other people, unconsciously, you find yourself drowning in unhappiness, in sadness. And it doesn't have any benefit to you. No benefit. So, bro, just be happy and live life at your own pace, one step at a time. And another lesson I learned this year is to thine own self be true. I recorded an episode about this with Darren sometime 2 months ago thereabouts. Just be true to yourself. I mean, because all you have is you. I mean, apart from family and friends, right? And if you really want to make any great impact, I think it should start with you. So to thine own self be true. Like, tell yourself the truth. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth about whatever it is that you are facing, or whatever situation it is that you have around you. And that will help you to know what to do, know what decision to make, know what step to take, and know what to channel your energy to. Yeah. And The fifth major lesson I learned this year is the power of accountability. I was really intentional about this year, or I've really been intentional about being accountable to people around me, to the minutest thing, to something like, oh guy, I won't be sleeping over in my house tonight, or something like, oh guy, I'm going to this place and this is what I'm going to do. Oh guy, I just got to this place. Oh guy, this is what's going on in my life at the moment, and this is what I think, and this is what I think I want to do. Do you get? I mean, to the minutest thing, I've really been accountable this year, and it has really been helpful. And the last thing I'd like to talk about is just be kind intentionally. I mean, that's a major lesson I've learned this year. I mean, since the beginning of the year. Just like, it doesn't cost you anything to be kind. Just have a good heart. Be kind to people and to yourself. I mean, it starts with you. Be kind to yourself and be kind to people. Because I just realized that when you're kind, it doesn't even cost you anything, right? Just do you, be kind. Let that be a normal part of your life. The good thing is that being kind has a reward, whether like now or later. So these are the major lessons I've learned in 2021. Yeah, so I mean, the next voices you will hear is my friends sharing their major lessons they've learned in 2021.
What's Your View podcast?
Hi, my name is Mekamal Sigodi, and these are the lessons I learned in 2021. I learned about love, I learned to love, and secondly, I learned to trust God more. First off, I learned love. I learned to be super intentional about loving everyone around me. So I lost a lot of people in 2021, and it was tough. And these were people I could have reached out to and just tell them one word before losing them. These were people I would procrastinate on calling, and then I lost lots of them in 2021. And it just taught me to love people more, be intentional about loving them, not just loving them. It's not enough to love them, but I have to be intentional about loving them. And so I decided from when I learned the lesson till forever, I was going to love people more. I was going to be intentional about loving them. If the thought of them came to my head, I was going to call them. I was going to reach out to them. Yeah. So I learned to be intentional about loving people. Then I learned to trust God more. I made major mistakes in 2021 in investments, in choices. And it was because I was impatient. I didn't trust God enough to make those decisions for me. And it affected me real terribly. So I've learned to trust Him more, no matter how long it might take. He has His best plans for me at heart, and so I have to learn to trust Him. Love people intentionally and trust God more. It might take a little time, but know that He has your best interest at heart. Cheers. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Sharon Olaide Stephen, and 2021 has been a year. It has been an amazing year. It has also been the most challenging year. And well, I'd just like to talk briefly about certain things that I really learned. I'll start with money management. This was not my best year financially, but somehow I managed to pull through. I ended up getting paid way less than I was paid last year, and I was not even living at home with my parents. I was living alone, so I had to buy my food myself, sort things out by myself, and that was difficult and challenging because, you know, if I was making the same money I was making last year, I would not have that much of an issue. But one thing that really helped me is the fact that I had saved. So please save. Saving is very important. I thank God that I saved last year, because if I did not, I don't know how I would have survived this year. Even with the little money I was getting, I still managed to save. Even if it's 5,000, 4,000, unforeseen circumstances will occur. It's not a curse, it's just a fact. About self-discovery, that's the next thing I want to talk about, what I learned about self-discovery. I keep on discovering myself every single day, every single moment. And there's something very freeing about knowing who you are, about knowing why you do the things that you do. It's been very liberating, honestly, discovering myself over and over and over again, and knowing that there is more to me than what it is that I know. And there will always be more to me. I keep on learning every single day. My perspective on life keeps on changing, and it will continue to change. So I've learned this year that I need time alone on most days to just be in my thoughts, to reevaluate myself, to reevaluate the decisions that I've made, to understand why I made the decisions that I made. So yes, these are two important things that I learned this year.
Hello everyone, my name is Praise Oludaisi, and here are 3 things I learned in 2021. Okay, so first of all, I learned in 2021 to always stay in touch with my reality. I learned not to be so in love with where I think I should be that I forget where I actually am at the given moment. Okay, so for better understanding, I'll give an illustration. Take cooking for example. See it as a skill that everyone must have and everyone should have learned at a certain age. And then, see yourself in that scenario and your friends learned this thing as at that age you with them as I do, and you were not allowed to. And so you grow up, your friends are badass at this, they are pros at cooking, but you're an amateur. And then all the while you've always felt like I really should not be at this level, and then you approach cooking as if you're a pro, when in actual fact you are actually at level 1, like in cooking. And then you go into the kitchen telling yourself you will cook the best delicacy ever, and then it's just a flop. You end up cooking rubbish. So like that's just the way it is with every other thing. Like, yes, circumstances may have affected like some things in your life, and then you feel like I should not be at this level. But like you've got to have that humility, that honesty to acknowledge that yes, things might not have worked out the way I wanted to, but this is my reality and I'm going to work on it to get to where I need to be, to get to that level where everybody is. You get? Because if you don't acknowledge this, you won't learn, and then you won't make progress. So you just stay stuck on the past, when in actual fact your past is dead, and you keep giving it life. You get? And the only thing you can do is to work on your present to improve your future. So yeah, that's one. Okay, so the second thing I've learned in 2021 is something I've known for quite a while, but in this year it became more glaring. And taking a cue from Isaiah chapter 6 verse 5, I've come to understand that in our walk with God, in our process of getting to know Him more intimately, there will be inconsistencies, flaws in our lives that will become really, really obvious to us. And that's just because these things are not in God's nature, and we need to be purged of them. And most likely it's not going to be a case of the Holy Spirit telling you that, for instance, this guy, you have anger issues. It's most likely going to be a case of you getting angry and you now acknowledging that, oh, this should not be, this is not the kind of person I want to be in Christ. And in situations like this, when we do mess up, I feel like it's important that we don't make the mistake of drowning in guilt, because guilt is just as powerful as you make it. So say you mess up, it's actually in that situation that you should actually press more, like in getting to know God. Because even when you mess up, the funny thing is that He's right there with arms wide open to receive us. So like, even when we mess up, even in the guilt, we should still have the guts to approach Him, like not even just for forgiveness and all of that, for more intimacy. Like the thing about this is that we have to be purged of all of this. We have to be purged of all of this for a very intimate relationship with the Father. So basically, even when you mess up, still press. Just keep pressing. Eventually, you'll be purged of all of these things. And finally, the third thing I learned in 2021 is something I got from a sermon by Apostle Joshua Selman titled "The Law of Honor." and I find it so profound. The anchor scripture was taken from 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 30, and the latter part says, those who honor me I will honor, and those who despise me shall be lightly esteemed. And what I could pick from this sermon is the fact that as believers, as those who claim to be one with the Father, and as normal human beings, in fact, we should never trivialize anyone. We should never trivialize the role anyone plays in our lives, because at the end of the day, we don't know who's who. We don't know who is set to, to help us with one thing or the other. We don't know who is going to bless us, basically. And then when you disrespect people, you've not only given a bad impression, you've potentially cancelled every help you could get from that person. And moving to matters of the faith, it's really important to respect like the spiritual leaders that we have, because if you don't approach these people with honor, you're not going to get anything from them. And the funny thing is, the principle of not speaking against spiritual leaders actually stands, because it's not in your place. It's not in your place to be the judge, jury, and executioner at all. Like take for instance, when Moses was with these Israelites in the wilderness, and then his sister Miriam and Aaron were, they were angry. They were not. I don't know what to call it, but they just felt somehow that it's only Moses that was hearing from God. And the funny thing is that Moses did not even know. Moses did not know that these guys were speaking against him. And then God struck Miriam with leprosy. Take for another instance, when David was praising God in his own way, just sincerely worshiping God, and then his wife Michal just said something really, really sarcastic, just basically insulting the man, and that woman never gave birth. Like, she's the only barren woman in the Bible. So like sometimes like you could speak against some people, and then they may not know, but God will just come for you. So like, honor is very, very important, both in the secular world and even the spiritual world. Honor is like, if I've not been doing it before, like now, no, I'm definitely going to be respecting whoever, not onto like being a doormat, obviously, but just don't trivialize people, and that's that. So yeah, these are 3 things I've learned in 2021, and I hope to learn even much more in 2022.
Hi everyone, my name is Samuel Ajibola Blessing, and here are a few lessons I learned in 2021. In 2021, I learned about determination, I learned about self-discovery, and most importantly, I learned to rely on God's help.
What's Your View podcast?
In 2021, I was looking forward to a lot of things to be done. I was looking at how I was going to do them, and how I was going to take them one step at a time. But with determination, I was able to do them and, have results. About self-discovery, I had a lot of things mapped out in 2020 for 2021, and I was so confused. Will I be able to do them? Am I capable of doing them? But in 2021, I was able to discover myself, the things I needed to do, how I needed to do them, the trainings I needed to put myself in, and a lot more. And lastly, I was able to learn about God's help. 2021 really taught me how to rely on God's help. The Bible says that our help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. I enjoyed God's help in everything in 2021. It was a major lesson for me. Without God's help, I wouldn't have come this far. I wouldn't have achieved a lot of things I achieved. 2021 was so great with God's help. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Kingsley Chinedu, and I'll be sharing my experience so far in the year 2021, and I'll be sharing my experience in various aspects. such as in the area of emotional intelligence, financial intelligence, handling relationships and family, then also spirituality. I'll start with the emotional intelligence. This year actually gave me, I will call it a privilege. It's actually a privilege. I got to understand deeper dimensions of how to handle relationships, especially people who over time you see the relationship transcend from just being friends, and you have deeper connections. So I'll be sharing an example to be able to buttress my point. I got to understand that when people move from seeing you as just that friend to someone they can speak to at any day, at any time, there is this obligation naturally that they believe comes with it. It means they can call you at any time, even in the middle of the night, and you would respond. Probably when you guys were still in that friend zone, they know once it's 12 in the night, 11, it's not proper to call. But once you guys break that edge and you can call at any time, you see that certain things are expected of you as a friend. So for example, I work in the pharmaceutical industry, so I remember I have a friend who called me at a very late hour that he needed a malaria medication, and in my head it could wait, and I had to delay him till the next day, even the next day, before I got it across. And when I spoke with him afterward, he expressed his displeasure, and in my mind I felt like, is it that it's not that deep, it's not that difficult? So but when I saw the level at which he was expressing and pointing out, which means he expected better from me, more like, I called you at this time, you should know it's a matter of urgency. Not like I didn't know it's a matter of urgency, but in his tone and his expression, I could see he needed more, and I understood from the place he was coming. He put me in a position where I had to tender an apology, and that is something I feel is of very much significant. And you see people like that too, ready to go all out for you, and it's something one shouldn't take for granted. Life is in a phase where we face different challenges, we face different struggles. One thing that keeps us going is the people we have around us. So for me, this year has been a year of learning how to handle my friends, especially in the area of emotional intelligence. And also from my own aspects, knowing that this is what they expect of me, I also have certain obligation. And this makes life easy. I know I am safe when I'm around a particular set of people. And I am in the area of financial intelligence. Man, that is very huge. I learned really great lessons this year, and one of the lessons I learned in the aspect of intelligence is learning how to save even when you don't have something you are planning for. There's this general mindset that maybe you want to buy a car, then you probably start saving up. I discovered that even saving when you don't have something to plan for, something just comes up somehow. And the fact that you have a savings, it kind of reduces the burden because you have somewhere to start. Let's now assume what you have is not enough and you probably need to generate a little more. The fact that you have something to start with kind of gives you an edge. And the way Nigeria is right now, nobody should be taken unaware. Nobody. We need to plan financially because there are so much unforeseen circumstances, and planning financially puts us in a safe place. How do I mean? Before, my salary could just come in and I just want to solve all my immediate needs. But now, no. A particular amount must go to savings. And when I say savings, like not to be touched. Because the truth is, no matter how much you feel you want to solve a problem, you can't finish solving it. So one has to be strategic. Choose your battles wisely. Like choose You need to be very smart, know where your money is going. Then also, I'm not married, so I have this habit of eating out. At some point I had to caution myself. I had to reduce how much I buy food outside, because I discovered I was spending a lot on buying food. I had to start buying the food stuff, and once in a while I cook myself, and I noticed my spending reduced drastically. Not like I don't still buy out, but there is a great reduction, unlike before when I literally buy both my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner outside. It has reduced drastically, and sometimes I'm not even out. You have to call these delivery guys, and when you look at how much they charge, calculate it in a month and see how much you spend. That is extreme. So that is another area where I learned financial intelligence. Then also, for those who, when people hear investing, especially most young people, like, it looks as if it's something very far, very huge. But if you can, no matter what, is that I would advise that one ties up their savings in returns, something that can bring returns in investment, not in liability. Buying a land, money you don't have plans for, money you're just saving up, you could buy a land, just invest. So I have friends who are into financial analysis, so most times whenever I'm stuck, I just tell them, oh, this is what I have, what do you think I can do? So I think that is also another aspect where we need to watch how we handle our relationship. So for me, everything I mentioned, all my friends are literally in that sphere. I can relate to them in the face of as friends. From friends, we can talk on financial intelligence, the whole emotional intelligence, even spirituality. So you see, like, everything is like in a circle of people, and he makes one more accountable. Then in the area of spirituality, I'm a Christian, and not just a Christian, one at heart. I love Jesus, and I noticed in my spiritual walk during the year, there are times I actually made certain mistakes, and one thing I learned is as a Christian, that you make a mistake does not mean that is like a pause for you. You can start right there and pick yourself back up. So this year was a different kind of year for me, because I experienced a whole lot of challenge on my spiritual walk. And one thing that kept me going is the love I have for God. Because when you love God, the relationship you enjoy, the fellowship you enjoy will be of much more priority. So on the job, you see, because people want to make money, there is a whole lot of means to just become a liar, and you won't even know these things. You see these lies flowing effortlessly, and I had to put myself in a place where, when I deal with my fellow colleagues, I make sure that I try. When I'm saying yes, my yes is yes. When I'm saying no, my no is no. When I'm saying I have. When I know I don't have. For example, I think there was a time in the year, when things were going up, dollar went up, everything was increasing. Like I said, I work in the pharmaceuticals and I deal with drugs. A good number of drugs increased, while some didn't. But I had, colleagues who just increased on everything and were making profit. And for me, like I said, I had to tell them, like, okay, see guys, the market is already hard, life is already difficult. If your company has not increased price, this is not profit, this is cheating. So we're in a place where the love for money has kind of made a lot of us to literally forget what matters. Money would always be there, and money would never solve all your problems. So that void that only God can fill, I always tell my friends, like, it's not something we should jeopardize. It's not something we should jeopardize. Sometimes I find myself, I am lost on the job, and you just want to make money. Then there's just this cautiousness that calls you back, like, guy, and I'm like, God, I'm sorry. And that's why I say I made mistakes, and at that point I repent and I get back again. So, and like I said, everything I've said, I have friends that I can express myself to, people who can tell me genuinely. I ask them, guys, do you think what I did is good? And they give me honest feedback. So in 2022, beyond having emotional intelligence, financial intelligence, being spiritual, I feel what is of utmost importance is the aspect of relationship. Build relationships where you can find expression in emotional intelligence, find expression in financial intelligence, find expression in handling your spirituality in that same relationship. Honest people who would not jeopardize or what is the word again? Make little of something they know is not good. So having people who always give you honest opinion, it gives you an open mind and open spirit, knowing that you're on the right track. And for me, that is like my landmark for 2021 and 2022. I'm going deeper in such friendships that would last beyond now, friendships where you can be vulnerable and yet not ashamed. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Zion, and these are the major lessons I learned in 2021. Mental strength, managing relationships, and self-awareness. So sometimes back, I was faced with so many options, after leaving school, and none was close to the plans I've made in my head. Like, this made me down, and I felt somehow, but I had to build the capacity to deal with the situation and to perform to the best of my ability in whatever decision I eventually make. And this really helped me because I was able to channel my energy to the option I eventually went for, and I found happiness in it. Also, before now, I was someone that would complain about not getting enough from those around me. I mean, my friends now. But this year, I would rather be thankful for those in my circle because I decided to see things from a different perspective, and making this decision actually helped me to enjoy more of their company. So I learned that. So then I became self-aware. I was more conscious of myself and the things I appreciate. I was able to identify things and people that I'm more comfortable with, and it really helped me because I loved myself more and I saw more of my strengths than my weakness. So definitely I would say 2021 was a great year for me because I learned so many lessons.
Hey guys, my name is Oluwadimilade and I'm going to be sharing with you guys the major lessons I learned in 2021. First of all, I would like to say that 2021 was a really amazing year for me. I don't know about you guys, but 2021 was really amazing, and I don't think I'm going to forget this year in a hurry. So the major lessons I learned this year: number one, gratitude. Be grateful. Everything you have is a privilege, and trust me, when you think you are in the worst situation, just know that someone somewhere has it worse. So be grateful. And one thing I became intentional about this year was, instead of focusing on things that are not working, I became thankful for things that are working. And I realized that I had a change of mindset. Trust me, life is too short to be complaining over things that are not working. See the good side in every situation and be grateful for it. Secondly, never settle for nonsense. You settle for nonsense, you attract more nonsense. It's an unwritten rule, but then it just applies to life. So this year, I was very intentional on how I wanted to be treated by people. So you know what I did for myself? I set standards for myself, and I made sure I didn't allow anyone make me feel like I was doing too much or my standards were too high. Trust me, I never lowered my standards for anybody, be it friendship or a prospective romantic relationship. I never lowered my standard for anybody, because trust me, when you begin to lower your standard for people, you won't know when you start tolerating things that you will not tolerate on a normal day, and people tend to test you with their bad behavior. So once they see that you are really understanding, or they know that you will always understand, they keep doing it over and over again. And I found out that I kept repeating the same cycle. So I decided not to tolerate nonsense from anybody. The third thing I learned this year was journaling. This year, God told me so many things about my future, my career, and I could not just keep everything in my head. Although I've been journaling since last year, but I became more intentional about it this year. So I started journaling more often this year, keeping track record of my growth, my relationship with God, and even my feelings. Anytime I feel some type of way, I'd rather write them down than talk to someone about it. I mean, that was more helpful for me. I don't know. Then, which other lesson did I learn this year? Okay, follow your passion and be true to yourself. This is one thing I did. I followed my passion in teaching, and trust me, that's the best decision I've ever made for myself. See, don't let anybody tell you, don't let anybody dictate to you how you should live your life. You own your life and you are responsible for the outcome of your life. So don't allow anybody dictate to you how you should live your life because of some certain societal standards that you don't have to fit into. Another major lesson I learned this year is Bounty chocolate is actually not trash. The chocolate is actually not that bad. I think I just hated it because of peer pressure. But yes, those are the major things I learned in 2021. I learned so many other things this year, but I can't say them all here. But all in all, this year has been an amazing year for me. And you guys should keep listening to What's Your View with Oludolapo. My name is Adilaja Oluwadimilade, and I wish you guys an amazing 2022.
What's your view? What's your view? What's your view? What's your view podcast?
Hi guys. I think it's really good to know that we've all learned one lesson or the other in the year, and I mean, it's not just enough to learn the lessons. It will be beneficial to pick up the lessons and run with it in the new year. And permit me to just say this word of prayer with you, that the new year will be filled with so much goodness and restoration of everything we've missed or lost in this year 2021. And God will make all things easy for us as we journey through 2022 in Jesus' name. Thank you guys for being a major part of my podcast this year, and I want to take our time to celebrate my producer, David Mekamora. Thank you so much, bro. I'm so grateful for the gift of you, and we'll do more next year. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to What You View with Oludolapo. Do not forget to share, like, and leave a comment. Remember, you can reach out to us on Instagram at whatyourview_Oludolapo. And if you use Anchor, do not forget to leave us a voice message and leave a comment. Thank you once again for listening.